including all of our today's specials. We've already talked tonight about today's special number 1, which was vitamin D3. We've talked about today's special number 2, which was calcium magnesium. Today's special number 3, which was, of course, vitamin B12. And now it's time to talk about the number 4 today's special, vitamin K2 MK7. Andrew, in fact, I'm going to ask Vinny. Vinny, when you get a second, my friend, can you get me the little the pinpoint so I can open up one of these? Thank you, sir. A couple years back, Andrew came on TV and he started to really shine a spotlight on vitamin K2 MK7. This is a product that is really important to understand and to know about. This little pot of gold is essential with regards calcium in your body. We talked earlier about how important it is to get the right amounts of calcium for a healthy skeleton, bones, and teeth. What we want to make sure is that that calcium is going to the right places in our body, right? We want it not to go and calcify in areas that are not going to be good for us. We want to make sure that that calcium is going to all the right places. That's what vitamin K2 MK7 does. It makes sure the calcium is going where it should. This is really an important product. Value today is through the roof. Over recent years, I think, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think this has probably been one of the most well-received products that Andrew has introduced because of how important it is, the science that backs it up, and how there is a really growing snowball effect of people, whether we're hearing it from our doctors, our experts, we're starting to understand how important this really is. Pricing and value that we've got, 30, 60, 180, or 360. That's where the pricing normally is right here, and that's where the pricing is today as part of our today's special encore. Even that largest size of the 360, we're down to $69.90. So you're saving nearly as much as you're spending. I have a lot of great reviews to read, but first of all, I want you to hear from Andrew himself. I want him to tell you what he told me that first time and what motivated me and convinced me that vitamin K2 MK7 is something we all have to consider.
Hi there, Andrew Lessman here with the 4th of our amazing Today Specials. All of these Today Specials focus on the vitamins or minerals that you'd find in a multivitamin, that you might boost in a multivitamin, or that you might choose to take separately. Vitamin K2 MK7. It's something I started talking about around a decade ago. And there wasn't much conversation about it at that time. We're starting to now hear about it a lot in the media. We're reading about it in magazines, health blogs. So it's something that's become more present in the perspective of what's important for health. And it's amazing how it's so difficult to talk about a nutrient, which I've been doing for the last 10 years. I feel like the lone voice in the wilderness when I talk about vitamin K2 MK7, and no one's heard of it, and no one really cares to hear about it. But now that it's starting to resonate out in the media, all of a sudden vitamin K2 MK7 is really getting the proper amount of attention. It's as important in terms of cardiovascular health as any nutrient you can identify. Because when it comes to cardiovascular health, the thing that really underscores our cardiovascular health is how healthy we keep our arteries. In particular, our coronary arteries. And vitamin K2 MK7, what it has been shown to do is increase the resiliency and really support the resiliency and the flexibility of our arteries. And again, the way it does it is in an indirect fashion because it does so by providing another benefit. The other benefit that vitamin K2 MK7 provides is helping calcium to be retained in the bones, supporting the bones in building their bony structure, retaining the calcium that they need for their structural integrity and structural health. And while they retain that calcium doesn't end up where you don't want it, say calcifying, causing calcification in our artery walls. So what I often analogize vitamin K2 MK7 is to sort of like a traffic officer, like a traffic cop that makes sure that cars go where they're supposed to go, that they don't go where they're not supposed to go. And when it comes to calcium, calcium should be retained in your bones. Your bones play a dual role. Not only do they need calcium for the structural integrity of those bones, but also That is the reservoir. That is the supply of calcium throughout the body, because all of the tissues in your body need a small amount of calcium, but only a small amount of calcium. We don't want too much calcium and run the risk of calcification, because when tissues calcify, especially tissues that we want to be resilient tissues, flexible tissues, tissues like arteries, tissues like our joints, calcification in those tissues can rob those tissues of their flexibility and elasticity, a very undesirable outcome, a very undesirable occurrence. So what vitamin K2 MK7 does, it really supports the body's attempts or efforts to keep calcium in the bones where those osteoblasts, those tissues in that's where the bone structures create, the cells that create our bony structure integrate calcium into that bony matrix. Those osteoblasts, we want them to be doing their work, and vitamin K2 MK7 supports that work. And also, it inhibits the work of osteoclasts that are going to be breaking down our bone. Also, it inhibits the deposition of calcium in our arteries, and that's where it's observed, or other tissues. And that's where vitamin K2 MK7 has been observed to deliver its benefits in terms of arterial flexibility. I have some charts here that we could look at that quote some of the science. But if we look here from the Journal of Nutritional Science and Vitaminology, the association between vitamin K status and cardiovascular disease, especially vascular calcification, has been also reported. Cross-sectional and cohort studies show that high vitamin K status is associated with reduced coronary artery calcification, cardiovascular disease, and mortality risk. Journal of Nutritional Science and Vitaminology, again, epidemiologic and basic studies indicate that vitamin K possesses a benefit in the prevention of the progression of coronary artery disease or coronary artery calcification. Disease markers. Observational studies revealed a lower prevalence of arterial calcification and cardiovascular mortality in subjects with a high intake of menaquinones, vitamin K2, and no effect from phylloquinone, which is vitamin K1. Vitamin K1 is all about blood clotting. Vitamin K2 is all about making sure calcium stays in your bones where it's supposed to stay and avoids depositing itself into other tissues. From disease markers, long-term supplementation with 180 micrograms of menaquinone daily, vitamin K2, for 3 years decreased arterial stiffness in healthy postmenopausal women, especially in women with a high arterial stiffness. Progression of aortic stiffness was related to the severity of vitamin K deficiency. Concluding, vitamin K, especially K2, enables de-stiffening by impairing and reversing calcification of arteries, suppressing the inflammatory reaction in the vascular wall, and improving lipid profile. Thus, higher and more stable plasma concentrations were reached with vitamin MK7, and MK7 was more effective. That's what we deliver, of course, effective in carboxylating, activating osteocalcin, promoting bone growth. And it continues talking about the important role of vitamin K2, MK7 in bone health. So in terms of bone health, just as we talked about in terms of arterial health, it's a vitamin that for 10 years ago, I said it's the most underconsidered, the most, unfortunately, underreported vitamin in terms of its benefits. That's changed a great deal, but it still doesn't deserve the attention it should get. And this is the best price of the year for our vitamin K2 MK7, essentially a buy one, get one free. So enjoy the benefits of vitamin K2 MK7. You will be happy you did. Enjoy.
I want to show you what this looks like right here. I just pierced the end of one of these soft gel caps so you can see it. As I squeeze that out, okay, it's this kind of sunshine color that you've got in there, but that really is a little pot of gold, and it does so much. I mean, I have the benefit of, you know, stood next to Andrew so many times and speaking to him behind the scenes. I wish there was enough time to tell you what he's told me about how vital this is. You gotta take vitamin K2 MK7. You've really gotta at least consider adding it to your regimen. Let me read the reviews, and maybe that will help give you that extra detail, but you have to know more about this. It's so important, it's so crucial, and as usual, Andrew does make the best. Here's what people are saying about vitamin K2 MK7. No additives. Because I take so much calcium, my doctor recommended I take vitamin K2 to make sure the calcium was used by my body to strengthen my bones. So I immediately bought these because there were no additives to ruin my health. When you purchase Andrew Lessman supplements, you don't have to worry about the quality or composition. They are clean and manufactured environmentally friendly. Thank you, Andrew. Still kicking at 65. I hadn't had a bone density scan since 2011, so I was a little apprehensive. In March, I finally did the deed and was amazingly surprised by the results. I'm still in the low bone density range with no change in hips and very little change in the spine. I owe it all to vitamin K2, MK7, and calcium and D. My doctor said to keep taking what I've been taking. Thank you, Andrew, for such high quality products. Innovative. Happy to begin a new course from a trusted source. I sought the advice of my physicians before taking vitamin K2 MK7. My doctors did the research on the product and directed me to go ahead and begin the supplement as there was no conflict. I will no longer be sending calcium to my arteries. Right there, stop. Stop right there. Let me go over this again. I will no longer be sending calcium to my arteries. If you are taking a calcium product, you have to make sure the calcium is going where it's supposed to go. Because if you're not taking vitamin K2 MK7, it might perhaps be going to the places you don't want it to go to. That's why this supplement is so important. Anyway, let's continue, sorry. Thank you, Andrew Lessman, for endless research, easily understood education, and quality products you bring us. Important vitamin. I'm a senior citizen that needs to take calcium for bone health. Are you the same way? Do you need to take calcium for bone health? Again, you need to have K2 MK7 if you're taking calcium. I believe, as Andrew explains and doctor reviews I have read state, this is important to take for absorption of the calcium into bones and not be collecting in the arteries. Again, it says it. I know Andrew gets a lot of joy reading reviews because it means that you've listened and you've heard and you've understood, and that's exactly what these showcase. Molly says, my doctor recommended I take vitamin K. I'm glad Andrew makes this vitamin because I think his products are the best. Just a quick time out, folks, because obviously this is the final presentation today of our Encore. You've got the best pricing, you've got the best value of the year. I'll never forget when I first met Andrew. He said, Adam, and this is God's honest truth, he said, Adam, I don't care, it doesn't matter if we don't sell one bottle of vitamins tonight. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, what I care about is getting the information across. That's my main goal and ambition. It always has been for 40 years. And he's telling the truth. All he cares about is that he's a very clever man. Let me just tell you that. He's the cleverest man I know. You don't even know half of the amazing things that he's achieved in his lifetime. But he's a clever man, he's a smart man, and he's a decent man who is obsessed with bringing you the perfect product. So when he speaks, I listen. And although he's not here tonight with us to share this information, I hope I'm doing as good a job as possible to really convey the importance of this, because if he were here, he would say the same thing. You must consider it, you must understand it. For optimum heart, artery, bone, and skeletal health, it is essential for healthy calcium utilization. With that all being said, last time I get to go over the pricing, Andrew takes great pride in sharing great values, and they're always a great value. That's the normal price. This is the today's special price. You're saving a fortune. I mean, really, against any brand. And obviously, we believe, and I think you'll see if you stack this up to any other vitamin K2 product, Andrew's is far superior. $69.90, that's for the 360 caps. If you take one a day, you've got a year covered here, a whole year covered for less than $70, free shipping, flex pay. We said that little pot of gold because it really is. This can do so much good and add so much benefit to your day and to our overall health. I hope you consider it, and I think you'll see why. I mean, so many hundreds and thousands of reviews. Here's a little fast fact. You know, of all the products we have on HSN, Andrew Lessman has more customer pick products, more reviews than anything else on our network and on our website. Why do so many millions of people love Andrew's products? Because they're simply the finest. Okay. We're wrapping this up, but I do want to tell you, Vitamin K2 MK7, if you need a calcium product, that is one of the other today's specials. So as you order this, please ask your representative about our calcium magnesium product that is also available tonight as well. That would obviously go hand in hand. Right, we only have a few minutes left, guys. I want to make sure everybody is well aware of our monthly special.